Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a little bit more mindset and a little bit less practical. You know, I love a practical video around here. I love tips, I love tricks, I love saying this is what is going to benefit you, and there will be some actual practical takeaways, but a lot of what we talk about today is going to be in your head. Because we can sit here and talk about planning all day long. We can talk about planners, we can talk about tools. I think probably one of the most, if not the most viewed video on my channel is the How I Plan My Life video, where I walk you through my entire planning process from yearly all the way down to daily and all the tools that I use. And that video is absolutely fantastic. But there are a lot of things that I have had to break through mindset-wise in order to get to a place where that system does work for me. So today I'm going to share with you 7 productivity. I feel like that is one of those words that some people say one way and some people say the other way. So if I say it a bunch in this video, not the way you say it, I'm apologizing now. But mindset shifts around your time management, essentially, that are going to help you actually take back control of your time and achieve your goals. I'm also gonna go ahead and give you the spoiler. None of these are necessarily groundbreaking. Like, these are not necessarily gonna be things that you have never heard before. Hopefully you hear it from a slightly different perspective. Even if you've heard me say it before, I'm a different person. I was just talking to somebody about that recently, that sometimes I feel like I make videos on topics I've talked about before. And that's absolutely true, because there's only so many goal setting topics or concepts that I can talk about. But every single day I am learning and growing, both through just living as a human, between my life changing and my experiences changing as a mom, as a business owner, as a human in the world, as well as my learning and development. I am always reading books and listening to podcasts, and gears are always turning in my head. And so even if you've heard me say one of these before, something else will likely spark a light bulb or some sort of idea for you. So the first one we're going to talk about is that busy does not equal productive. I could keep myself busy all the time. I could fill up my days with all kinds of things, right? I could always find something to do. But keeping busy, filling your calendar, filling your time, doesn't always equal productive. And what that comes down to is knowing what your end goal is, right? Because I can think of a prior version of myself where her goal probably just felt like it was to be busy. It felt like if I filled in every minute of every day with an activity, I was being productive. And so ultimately that version of me her goal was just to be busy. Because if productivity is really the goal, you have to know what it is that you're trying to achieve. Filling your time with the important things, the things that actually matter to you, the things that are going to make a difference in your life or somebody you love's life, that is what is worth taking up space on your very, very precious calendar. So when it comes down to it, don't fill in your calendar for the sake of filling in your calendar. And this is something I feel like I've mentioned before, but I definitely feel like I learned the hard way. I filled in every minute of every day, and then the world shut down. And then I just had this empty space on my calendar because everything got canceled. And absolutely a blessing in disguise for me, because it's not easy. It's not easy to just start taking stuff off of your calendar. But the summary of this one is you can absolutely have a productive day, week, month, year, even if you are not filling up every second of that time. Number 2, I know you've heard me say before because I literally have it on the merch that I sell, and that is that done is better than perfect. I have made countless videos, I feel like, on the concept of perfection. The ultimate summary is that perfection doesn't exist. It does not exist. There is no such thing as perfect, and doing the things that you want to be doing, spending your time the way that you want to be spending it, and getting something done is so much more important than it being quote unquote perfect. Time is one of, if not the most valuable resource that you have. And if you spent all of your time perfecting or attempting to perfect every action that you take, every step that you do, you would get way less done. So even something as simple as cooking a meal, like measuring things out close enough. Something like putting away the laundry. My husband asked me the other day, he goes, you know, sometimes when you hang stuff up inside out. And I'm like, well, that means you put it inside out in the washer, because sometimes, or in the hamper, because sometimes I don't take the time to, when I'm folding clothes or hanging clothes up, to like undo the things inside out. To me, getting the laundry hung up, that's done, is better than perfect. And if that means some of the clothes in our closet are inside out, frankly, it doesn't bother me. And I was like, if it really does bother you, you turn it inside out before you put it in. And that might seem like a really silly example, but that is an example of me operating in the done is better than perfect. I think in the past, I have always equated this concept with like really big like work goals or tasks like that, and not to those little mundane tasks like folding and putting away the laundry, right? Again, if I do each of those things that I do every single day up to 80 to 90% good enough, that's gonna save me so much time in the long run. Number 3 is to rely on systems over willpower. This one is a little bit more of a practical tip, but the mindset piece of this is that you cannot willpower your way through all of your goals. You just cannot. We do not have the capacity, the strength as humans functioning, and all the things that we have going on and all the information we have coming at us on a regular basis to just, I should be able to just like work out for this long, or I should be able to like resist that cookie, or I should be able to sit down and read a chapter of my book. But then that cookie is tempting you. Scrolling on Instagram is tempting you. If we rely solely on willpower, we will never achieve our goals. I feel like that is blunt, but it's accurate. We have to create systems that work for us. Sometimes when I share systems or routines or things that I have in my life, I get some sort of comment that's like, how do you live in such a rigid, structured way? And the truth is because then I'm not spending my willpower on those decisions. I'm not spending my very valuable decision-making energy or just actual energy on what the order is I do my morning routine steps in, or what planner system I'm using, or how I set up my goals or my time. I can save my very valuable willpower and energy for much more difficult decisions that come my way, like being a parent or having a tough conversation with a loved one, something else that's much more important. Now, setting up systems is not necessarily easy. This is not a just do it kind of thing. I understand that it takes effort and trial and error and work to set up systems that work for you, but taking the time to do that is important instead of just relying on willpower alone. Okay, the next one I know you've heard me say because we literally spent all of last month talking about it, and that is rest is not a reward. You need to plan for rest. Your ability to be productive is directly correlated with the amount of rest that you get. The end. And if you want more details on rest, go back and watch those videos from August. There are videos about what is rest, types of rest, and then how to incorporate rest into your life and into your goals. And that's all I'm gonna say on that one. Number 5 is a topic that I've definitely talked about before, and I can't remember if I have a whole video on it. I know I bring this up a lot inside of the Goals with Laken community, and that is that you have to think of your progress as an average. So whether we're talking about every hour of your day, whether we're talking about all the days over the course of a month, or the graphic I use a lot is progress of each month over the course of a year, we are not going to hit the same level of progress, productivity, whatever you want to call it, consistently over time. Right? There are going to be times in your day that you are going to get more done and times that you're going to get less done. There are going to be times in your week that you're going to be able to crush it and times that you're not. And some of that is going to be just facts, right? Like I personally have childcare Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm going to get more done from a work standpoint Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That doesn't mean that I sit there and judge Thursday and Friday Laken for not doing any work. That's not how my progress shapes out over the course of the week. Or you have an incredibly busy month, right? Maybe the month of September is chaos. You're going back to school as an educator. Your kids are going back to school. The weather is shifting. All of a sudden there's 700 football games each week. You want to watch? It's just me. And you realize that your progress on your goals this month is going to be lower. That's okay. That's how it works. Your progress, you have to look at it as an average. We are not aiming for the same level of consistent progress or productivity every single hour, day, week, month, year. Number 6 is to not put yourself into boxes. What I mean by this is I'm also really bad at this, and it can be positive or negative, but putting yourself into a box that's like, I am a morning person or I am not a morning person. I don't like to run. I am a runner. I don't have another example written down, but something like that. We tend to put ourselves in these boxes. And even if you find that to be true, right? I am more likely to be a morning person. But in the early days of my pregnancy, that was not my best time of day, right? Morning sickness shouldn't be called morning sickness. It's really all day sickness, but it does tend to spike more in the mornings. And so I wasn't getting up and doing a morning routine during my first trimester, and that's okay. And I had to let go of putting myself in this I'm a morning person box. And because what happens is when you put yourself in that box, then your brain automatically thinks, well, then I can't do something in the evening because I'm not an evening person. Okay, maybe right now in this phase that I'm in, I am more of an evening person than I am a morning person, so I'm gonna get more done in the evening. It also could be not something that's just a phase. It could be something that you've been saying about yourself for years and years and years, decades and decades, because it was true at some point and life has changed, right? Maybe at some point in your life, you didn't do X, Y, Z. That doesn't have to be true anymore. So I would ask yourself to think a little bit, are you putting yourself in some sort of box? Are you labeling yourself in some way that is hindering your ability to be productive and make progress on your goals, right? Is there something that is causing you, even if it is subconscious? There is a lot to be said for, I was just talking to somebody about vision boards the other day. There's a lot to be said for the little tiny decisions that our like subconscious is making that we don't even have control over. But what we do have control is the information that we're feeding it. And so if you're feeding it this, I'm putting myself in this kind of a box, then you are limiting yourself to actions, ideas, transformations of things outside of that box. It doesn't mean that we can't have things that make up our identity and things that are important to us and things that are most of the time true, but it doesn't have to be always true. And the last one might be the hardest for you. I would love to hear which one of these you resonate with the most. You've got to learn to say no. Most of the time, being productive is more about taking away the things that don't matter rather than trying to add more things, right? Full circle, going back to busy isn't productive. What can you say no to? That is going to allow you to be able to do more things that are important to you and ultimately likely feel more productive. I was just kind of resisting the other day with making plans with somebody because one of the things that's important to me, if you watch my goals video from September, is enjoying fall, and a big piece of fall to me is football. I want to be able to watch football. And if that means that I'm making plans around football related things that are important to me, yes, obviously games that my own teams are playing in, but also I love College Game Day on Saturday mornings, like the talk show that's the couple of hours before the games actually start. It's one of my favorite things to watch every single week. And so for the most part, I'm in control of protecting those hours on Saturday morning and being able to sit on my couch with my husband. My daughter's probably playing nearby, asking me to read a book every 5 minutes, but I still have College Game Day on in the background. It's not quite as relaxing as it used to be, but it's still something that's important to me. It is okay to say no to the things that aren't as important to you without judgment from anybody. It's your life. You get to decide. Maybe you need to converse a little bit with your spouse or people in your immediate family, but otherwise it is up to you how you spend your time. And that might be tough. Saying no is not easy. Making decisions that may disappoint somebody else, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it is going to be valuable. So that is it. Those are the 7 productivity mindset shifts, just time management things that really help me on a regular basis keep my valuable resource of time moving me in the direction that I want to be moving in, whether it's related to my goals, related to my business, whatever it is that's important to me in that given time frame, and making the most of that time. As we start to approach the end of the year, it is almost Q4. I cannot believe I'm saying that. You can grab the just Q4 version of the Goals with Laken Planner. If you did not give the Goals with Laken Planner a try for 2025, but you're thinking about it for 26, I would encourage you to grab the Q4 one and just try it out for a quarter, see if it works for you, and then that will help you decide if getting the full year of 2026 is a good fit for you. If you did use the 2025 version, by the way, shameless plug, there is a survey. I sent it out in an email. If you can't find your email, ask me for it. I'm also gonna link it down below. I would love your feedback on the 2025 version as I finalize the details and changes for the new one. One last thing, there is a free bonus page with anybody who buys the Q4 version. If you've already bought it or you bought the full year, again, should have gotten an email from me with information on this free download, but there is a free one pager that has questions to help you prep for Q4. So in the Goals with Laken Planner, we've always had a prep page for the month, and I finally realized we also could use a prep page for the quarter. So it is something I'm planning to add in the new version. And I thought I would kick that off with giving you a Q4 one as a bonus if you buy the Q4 version. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Okay, I'm done rambling. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you made it all the way to the end, comment below with the clock emoji since this was a lot about time. I would love for you to comment below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. That's not right. Charlie is trying to get in here. I feel like I'm saying that word weird. I don't want to say that. I just skipped a number. Sit on my couch, drink, focus, blah, 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 blah.